those different triggers and those different opportunities are going to present itself every single day. So you have to be mindful of how do I address that situation based on what my skill set is. Everybody, look, it's time for another Average Mindset Monday. And listen, today I'm just talking to you about a very different aspect of what most people talk about with like self-management. It's like very underrated. So we talk about like physically, like managing yourself. We talk about like mentally managing yourself. Like you go get therapy, you may talk to your friends, you may, get some things out the way that might be triggering you, stuff like that. We talk about the physical aspect where it's like, hey, go work out, start to eat better, like eat better food, stop eating fast food all the time, those types of things. But the thing is that we don't touch on this topic too often, and that's emotion management. And the thing that I see on the internet all the time, and like a lot of times when I work with different people, it's, well, this is just how I am, right? That's partially true. This is just how you are. But the thing is you have to understand that how you are can always be molded and developed. I'm a very direct person, right? When I was immature in my kind of like emotional management, I wouldn't mind blowing the lid off and just letting everybody have it. When I was young and like in certain aspects of my life, like I haven't developed it emotionally, I didn't mind just like meeting something with anger. Even when I first started speaking, it's like I thought coming out rah rah all the time and like aggressive and like all the time, that's what people wanted. But that's not true, right? But you got to mold that. See, some people, you're not aggressive. You're not aggressive at all. You're very passive. Some people are just observant, right? Some people aren't the type of person that's just gonna like when someone tells them something, they're just gonna blow the lid off of everything and then everybody else around them gets burnt up. You have to figure out where you are mentally, where you are with your emotions, because that comes from self-awareness. And then you have to figure out how do I mold that into being what it needs to be. And so here's why I brought you the topic today. It's because a lot of times it takes self awareness to know who you are, to know how your emotions run, to know how you put forth in certain situations. And like I'm just reminded of a situation. So there's a particular like member of leadership I was working with, and they were just like very passive aggressive. And everything they did, they were gonna send you an email. They weren't gonna address the situation. They kind of were gonna go around it or see if somebody else can do that for them or something. Y'all get what I'm talking about. Like they would just never meet the problem head on. And it wasn't even that it was tough problems to meet. It would just be like, hey, general communication. If it was something that they had to deliver to their team that was bad news, it was well, could someone else do it? If it was good information, they didn't mind doing it. But see, the thing is, they had to realize within themselves, emotionally, they're allowing those emotions to get in place. See, like in business, in leadership, in management, whatever aspect, right? Like even in your household, your emotional management comes into a very big play because you're putting the same tools in place that you do at work, that you do if you run a business, whatever that may be, right? So this is what I'm telling you, and I'm gonna tell you how to overcome it, right? I want you to one, figure out what type of person you are, right? I told y'all, very direct person. Sometimes I give information, it's gonna sting sometimes. But I'm also playful too, right? So sometimes I would find myself going into a space to where I'm just gonna skate around the question. I'm gonna have everybody laughing and joking or whatnot. But I had to realize I was getting everybody to laugh and joke because it's like I really didn't want to deliver this info. I really didn't want to do the thing that needed to be done. So I was just gonna get everybody laughing and joking, right? What type of person are you? So, are you someone who struggles with delivering certain messages? Are you someone who gets so caught up in you're kind of almost frozen because you're looking at a process so much that you forget about the people when you talk to them? And so that was a big topic I had today because it's like over the last few weeks I had been having that same conversation with people because we're not developing those things very well. And when we get into a certain space, we have to say, and see, this is something I want y'all to think about. When we talk about strengths and opportunities, as they say in the workplace, right? Your strengths and opportunities, that you don't really have those opportunities. It's just more awareness for that situation. So if here's an example I'll give you again. If I'm very direct, if I'm in a if I and let me step back. I'm gonna just use this example. If I'm very playful, if I'm joking, everything like that, because I'm not really trying to address the situation. The thing is that when if I'm in a group of people and I need to deliver something, I know a strength of mine is to get people laughing, and then they start to let that guard down, and then I can go in to give them the information, right? But if I'm one on one with someone and I start to get them laughing, and then all of a sudden I just hit them with it like, "Hey, this is what it is," might not come off too well. But I have to also know, like, I have the directness side to me. So if I go into front of a group of people and I'm like, "Hey, this is what it is. Any questions? Okay, cool. Bye. I'm just leaving." But if I go into a situation where it's maybe one on one, or I understand the person I'm dealing with, and I'm like, "Hey, I just needed to pull you aside. I just need to tell you this information, good, bad, indifferent, whatever it may be. This is what it is, right? Let's talk it through." It works a little bit better in that setting than just having a 300 group, like 300, person group in front of me just saying, "This is what it is. All right, bye." But so I want you to start to think about, how do you develop that aspect to yourself, because your emotional management is very big when it comes to, like, elevating yourself, getting into business, taking promotions, being in leadership, building a team. Because guess what? Those different triggers and those different opportunities are going to present itself every single day. So you have to be mindful of, how do I address that situation based on what my skill set is? Is it better for me to be playful? Is it better for me to be passive aggressive in a certain situation? Is it better for me to be direct in a certain situation? Is it better for me to, be hung up on what that process may look like? That way I deliver the information correctly. So I want you to think about that this week. That's your challenge for this week. That's been your average mindset Monday. And remember, the number one goal that everybody should have is to become someone that other people can count on. Look, y'all have a great week.